I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in God.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to a special edition of The Dave Show. Normally, I would say we have a great show planned for you today, but unfortunately, what we're going to be covering today is not great. It is sad and it is tragic, but it is important to reflect and remember the life of Charlie Kirk and what he has done for this country, really. And we will get to that. We will also be covering just a little bit of 9/11 because that obviously is an important date as well. Now, before we get on to the show, we do need to thank today's sponsors. Today, there are 3 of them, so let's get on with that. The first sponsor is at ML7124. Thank you very much for sponsoring today's show, and it is also a little bit extra special because you mentioned that on 9/11, your father-in-law would have turned 69, and you wanted to dedicate the episode to him, and that is very special. So thank you very much for your contribution and helping the show keep going. All right, the second sponsor is Myrna Living Good, which I still say is one of the best last names you could have because it's a daily affirmation every time you say it. That's pretty awesome. But Myrna, I think as you mentioned in your message to me that this was a treat for your birthday to sponsor the Dave Show, and I think that is an absolutely wonderful birthday treat for you to have. And happy birthday. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day and making great memories. All right, the last of our sponsors is Kathleen McDowell. And thank you very much for sponsoring today's show. And she said, Kathleen, you said that you and your daughter watch the show every day. And that makes me just all warm and it makes me feel special inside. And it always makes me happy when people out there like the show, like what I do. And yeah, so thank you very much for sponsoring today's show. And I hope you and your daughter have a wonderful day. And again, I hope everybody that sponsored the show has a great day. All right, well, let's move on with the rest of the show. Let's do it. President Trump delivered a very short but powerful and emotional speech in memory of those that fell during 9/11. And it also could definitely apply to what has happened in the last day or so on Wednesday with Charlie Kirk and his assassination. So it's fitting in both counts, and it's actually quite beautiful. Check it out.
In America, we take blows, but we never buckle. We bleed, but we do not bow. And we defy the fear, endure the flames, and emerge from the crucible of every hardship stronger, prouder, and greater than ever before.
The last couple of days have honestly been a lot harder on me than I had anticipated. With the passing of Charlie Kirk, it has affected me in a much broader way than I thought would be possible. I've never met the man. I don't know him. I went to the event in hopes to possibly meet him, shake his hand after everything was said and done. At the very least, get up to the microphone and express my thanks to him for all that he's done for the country, for helping to re-elect President Trump, especially for helping the conservative movement and creating a platform for young adults, men and women, to have a place to share their thoughts, to know that it's okay for them to share their views, to push back a little bit on the establishment that they were facing in colleges and universities through biased professors. He is a once-in-a-generational figure for sure. One of the things I wanted to tell him if I went to the mic, if I was able to do that, well, frankly, we went to the same high school, and I've mentioned this before, I think once or twice over the last several videos. But yeah, we're fellow Wildcats, went to Wheeling High, and so that's a pretty amazing connection that I didn't know about until just a few months ago. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up, and also, honestly, in full transparency, I wanted to give a shout out to the channel. Maybe ask him to give a shout out to the channel. We are a Christian conservative based channel, and so I think there would also be that additional connection there. So, but alas, that will never happen. So I just wanted to just share some things, share some clips. Fox News did a really good tribute that I'm going to show, way better than I could ever do. But the first clip we're going to see is somebody asks him how he wants to be remembered, and he said something pretty astonishing. Not anything that he created, not Turning Point USA, not anything that he built with his hands or conceived with his mind. He said he wanted to be remembered for the courage of his faith, the courage to stand up for what he believed in. And he was a good man. He was a Christian man. And it inspires myself to be a better person, to kind of, I'm Christian, and I know that I think I could live my life a little bit better. I'm a good person. I'm not a jerk to anybody. I don't lie to anybody. I don't try to take anybody out in the workplace or anything like that. But there is always room for improvement. And yeah, I think it would be wonderful to be remembered for the faith that you had in our Lord Jesus Christ, and to stand up for him and his teachings. So I think I'm going to refocus myself and try to do that a lot more the rest of my life. So anyways, here is the tribute. Enjoy it.
How do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
Charlie Kirk is being remembered tonight as a hugely influential, charismatic, and engaging individual committed to civil discourse and the open exchange of ideas. Correspondent Mark Meredith looks back at the life of Charlie Kirk. Good evening, Mark.
Brett, good evening to you. Charlie Kirk's death is being called a watershed moment or even a turning point for the country. The 31-year-old political activist had a massive following, both online and in the corridors of power here in Washington. Before becoming a household name in conservative politics, Charlie Kirk was a teenager growing up in the Chicago suburbs. He told the Daily Caller in 2019 he knew early on politics mattered.
I was always naturally conservative, loved America, loved the values that our country stood for, and I never understood why you'd want to deviate from that.
Kirk thought he'd end up at West Point, the Army's military academy, but after being denied admission, he chose to start something for himself.
It's that old adage, one door closes, another door opens. Of course, it's correct.
In summer 2012, Turning Point USA was born. What started small later became a political juggernaut, a conservative youth activist organization now operating on 3,500 high school and college campuses. Kirk explained what drove him in his first Fox appearance 13 years ago.
A lot of kids are feeling the effects of what we like to call, with the Washington economy, with a lot of debt, plummeting small business, with higher regulation and high taxes.
As the Tea Party movement evolved, Turning Point USA grew. So did its influence. The AP writing Turning Point events became more ornate, taking on a nightclub atmosphere with strobe lights, pyrotechnics, and thousands of young conservatives in attendance. Kirk endorsed then-candidate Donald Trump in 2016 and later worked to re-elect him in 2020.
I believe it's imperative we get the president reelected. In fact, I think he's going to get reelected.
As Trump later regrouped for 2024, Kirk continued to build an empire and a family. He married his wife, Erica, in 2021 and later became a dad of 2. Trump himself thanked Kirk for staying loyal amid a year of chaos.
And I want to express my tremendous gratitude to Charlie Kirk. He's really an amazing guy.
With Trump now back in power, Kirk remained active, speaking out constantly about the conservative movement.
There's a revival happening in this country right now.
Tonight, tributes continue to pour in for a man many believe helped change the course of U.S. political history.
After his passing, President Trump put out a statement. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. J.D. Vance said, eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord. President Joe Biden commented, there is no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. Next, we're going to hear from the co-hosts of The Five. They all knew Charlie very well, some of them 10 plus years. So I think it's interesting to hear how they remember Charlie, but also what we do now, how we move forward as a country, and what's next. It's been pretty devastating for most of the country. We're going to be covering what the other half of the country is doing in the next episode. But today we're going to keep it focused on Charlie and the great things he's done for this country and for the world, quite frankly. So let's check out The Five.
I've known him for probably 10 years. I mean, it's hard to gather your thoughts beyond just horror. So instead, I mean, you know, Charlie was such a force of nature. He was brilliant and he was funny, but what scared people was his persuasiveness. The only way to take him down, because he could persuade you so strongly, was to kill him. You know, and the shock and despair that we are feeling, and I mean we as in shared by everyone at home and around this table and in this building, it's a testament to the impact of Charlie's friendship and his bravery and his character. And it's so deep a wound that we all feel. It's because it feels like he's one of us. He's part of us because he was such genuinely a patriot and a great person. So how do you work through this stuff? You know, it's not about him or me, it's us, the viewers. You are us. What do we do? Well, you still do what you always do, but you do more of it. You stand up, you speak up, and you share the risk. Right now, you are recoiling, but you have to come back and return stronger, more fortified, and more resilient. What is ironic, fittingly, I guess, is that this is a turning point. You know, if you believe in Charlie, you got to believe in yourself because he believed in you. You know, this isn't over. This is the beginning. And Charlie's power just got released in all of us. He's going to be bigger now than he ever was on this chaotic planet. He made us all bigger. So I think that if you're at home and you're feeling bad, don't just get through it. And remember that he would want you to get stronger and not back down.
Jesse, before I go to you, President Trump has announced that the flags will fly at half-mast for Charlie Kirk until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. I know you knew him well, too.
Yeah, we're sick, we're sad, we're angry, and we're resolute. And we're going to avenge Charlie's death in the way Charlie would want it to be avenged. He was such a beautiful boy. He was an American boy. And he was incredibly positive. He was full of energy and life. And he made politics fun. You see it at his events when things blow up and the music plays. And we haven't had that in a very long time in this country. Every time he did a hit on my show, he would text me afterwards, "Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate having you on."
Yep.
And my daughter loved him. I mean, she's 13 years old. This is a man who touched an entire generation of Americans and electrified them and made them patriots. And this is not a controversial person. This is not a polarizing guy, a divisive person, a firebrand that he's being described as in the media. This is like a guy that you have a barbecue with at your summer house. This is the kind of guy, if you came back with your daughter, you'd say, "Thank God, we got a good one." He's a great athlete. He's a great person. He's a great Christian. You see his family out there. He had his kids not facing the photos because he wanted to protect them, because he knew how evil people were. So when he goes out to these college campuses, he's not provoking anybody. He's like Socrates. He asks questions, and he does it with a smile. And there's nothing controversial about saying socialism is worse than capitalism. Men and women are different. Let's put America first, because that's all he was about, putting America first. And as Greg said, this hits differently because Charlie was one of us. And Trump gets hit in the ear. Charlie gets shot dead. They came after Kavanaugh with a rifle to his neighborhood. They went after Musk's cars. They just shot 2 Jews outside the embassy. Think about it. Scalise got shot, barely survived. It's happening. You got trans shooters. You got riots in LA. They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it? How much political violence are we going to tolerate? And that's the question we're just going to have to ask ourselves. Now, Charlie would want us to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Dana nailed it. This is unacceptable and has to stop. And it has to stop now. And everybody's accountable. And we're watching what they're saying on television and who's saying what. The politicians, the media, and all of these rats out there. This can never happen again. It ends now. Greg's right again. This is a turning point, and we know which direction we're going.
Jesse actually makes a lot of good points. I kind of feel like maybe we are at war. I mean, with all of the attempts, like Jesse had rattled off between Trump and Scalise and Charlie and Kavanaugh, between attempts and success from the left to take out conservatives, it is absolutely disgusting, and it's something that we shouldn't tolerate anymore. Well, let's hear from Kennedy and what she thinks the messaging is from the left, and where we go next.
Free speech lives high in your list of priorities, Kennedy.
Absolutely. And you think about all of us go out there and we want to meet the public. We want to speak. We want to speak our minds. We are fortunate enough to have been given a microphone and this medium to talk about ideas and amplify what we believe is right. It is okay to be polarizing. It is okay to be a lightning rod. It is okay for people to disagree with you. It is not okay to take someone's life. And you know, there are people who have tried to justify what happened based on the reaction that Charlie Kirk stirred in people. I will tell you this, as Jesse said, his daughter loved Charlie Kirk. My daughter is a junior in college. A lot of them only get their news from TikTok, and they all know who Charlie Kirk is.
Yep.
Because using the Socratic method, he has confronted the sophistry of socialism and progressivism on college campuses. That was his life's work, and they all knew who he was. And as they shared those videos, many of those young people questioned their beliefs, maybe for the first time in their lives. And it's okay to do that as well. And I hope they continue to do that, and that his shadow resonates for generations of people who are able to sit down with those they disagree with and have a conversation with them and confront them with the inadequacies of their arguments, hoping that they come to the side that Charlie Kirk lived and believed was right.
And he did it with good cheer.
And here are some thoughts from Janine Pirro on what Charlie did, what he accomplished, what he built, and just how many millions of people that he has helped throughout the United States and, like I said, around the world.
This Prove Me Wrong tour to spark open debate on campuses across the country. His work inspired millions of young people, and he will leave a legacy of challenging ideas and fighting for what he believed in. Today, and I'm brokenhearted as I look at his photos, I mean, right now we have lost a true warrior for freedom and open discourse. And Charlie wasn't just a commentator or an activist. He was, and I think Greg may have said this, and I agree, he was a force of nature. He built Turning Point USA from the ground up, and he gave young conservatives a platform in a world that often tried to silence them on university campuses, preventing them from saying what they believed, getting people to write papers that they didn't agree with just to get a good grade. His movement embodied everything that he believed in. He invited the tough questions, and he debated ideas head on, and he proved what we've always known, but so few people use it. He proved that truth wins when it's tested. That's what Charlie Kirk did.
Just like when Obi-Wan Kenobi was struck down, he stated that, "I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine," saying that to Darth Vader. And he was right. And just like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Charlie Kirk has now been struck down by the left, and his message will become more powerful and more widespread than what Charlie, I think, could ever imagine doing while still alive. So let's hear what Greg has to say, because quite frankly, I think the left effed up. They poked the bear one too many times, and I think the silent majority is starting to wake up and make some noise.
Yeah, I know that it's somewhat object of mockery to say thoughts and prayers, but thoughts and prayers for his family. They need it from all of us. And Jesse's right. If they could do this, they are capable of anything. I think that was the message. I believe that was the message. It's really hard to radicalize Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're not the radical type. But if you thought that you were going to shut a movement down, you're going to get a rude awakening. You woke us the fuck up.
Here's a post from Charlie Kirk back in 2013, and I think it is quite prophetic. The left has now made him a martyr, and his message, his name, will live on, I believe, for eternity. Good men must die, but death can't kill their names. Finally, we're going to leave you with just a few clips of Charlie Kirk really representing who he was as a person. Everybody that you see talking about him on the internet says that he was generous to a fault. There's also a clip of him when he finds out that all of his efforts to re-elect Donald Trump had been realized, and he kind of breaks down a little bit and thanks God for allowing that to happen. And that's huge. And then there's just a little clip of him and his family, his wife Erica, and them just enjoying life together. It is just so sad that that life had to be cut short. And Charlie, we all love you, and you will dearly be missed. God bless.
Hello, Maddie. Charlie Kirk here. I'm so sorry about the loss of your sister, Morgan. There's really no words to describe what I'm sure you're feeling and the difficulty you're going through. I just want to encourage you to keep the faith and know that God is sovereign overall, and that your sister is in a much better place now. I know that it's very difficult, but just want you to stay encouraged, stay close to your faith, and that God has a plan for you. And what that is, We don't know, but God is sovereign over all, and God loves all of us. So hope to meet you one day. God bless you, and stay strong.
Why can you not respect the existence of trans people?
Well, it depends what you mean by that. If you mean lying, I won't lie. But every human being is made in the image of God, and so they deserve human rights. But at the same time, we have an obligation to our fellow citizen and fellow, hopefully, brothers in Christ one day or sisters to lie to them. And so when someone says they are a man when they're really a woman, or they say they're a woman when they're a man, and you affirm that, you are co-signing on that, of which I refuse to do.
Fox News decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
Let's go.
There it is. Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
And if anyone deserves to get tears in his eyes, it's Charlie. I think we all agree. I think Erica was chopping his onions or something in the break room. No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone. Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania. It's beginning.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.